ఇక ఏఐసీసీ ప్రతినిధి గాంధీ భవన్ లో మీడియాతో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. లైవ్ లో చూద్దాం.
To remind and draw to the attention of the people of Telangana that there is a national election coming up. It's a question of the fate of India, about the future of India, and therefore it's important to think about the national parties that have built India, made our country one of the strongest economies of the world over the last 60-70 years, ensured a flourishing, inclusive democracy, and ensured that we are a country where love and fraternity and brotherhood is the predominant characteristic. Today, we are celebrating Christmas, which is a religious festival. But India's secularism is like that, where we celebrate every religion, every festival of every major community in this country. But that atmosphere has changed. What you see today in India is an India where love has gone aside. You have violence, you have hatred, you have attempts to suppress minority religions and to make certain people second-class citizens. That is not the Congress Party's agenda, and we will fight it tooth and nail. But let me get to the other issues. When we think about the national election that's coming up, when we think about the other word that I used today, truth, it's important to get at the truth of various moves that are taking place. One move, if you look at the headlines today, yesterday, day before, etc., is of your newly re-elected Chief Minister visiting Chief Ministers of other states on a little Bharat Yatra, trying to create something called a federal front. Let me tell you what the truth of this whole adventure is. You have seen in the last 4-5 years that whenever the opposition is divided, it is an open door to the BJP to power and victory. Therefore, it's extraordinarily important to unite secular forces, progressive forces, and to ensure that the right-wing fascist forces represented by the BJP are defeated. We showed when we got together in Bihar, in that original Mahagathbandhan, with, at that time, Nitish Kumar's JDU, with Lalu Prasad's RJD, we were able to push back the Modi wave and gave them a stunning defeat in the state of Bihar. After that, if you actually look at every Lok Sabha by-election that has taken place since 2014, it is the opposition that has won seats that previously belonged to the BJP. It is in Madhya Pradesh, it is in Rajasthan, in other parts, in Karnataka, wherever the BJP was sitting in a seat and we contested. When the opposition was united, we were able to win that seat. BJP has not, after 2014, taken away a single seat from an opposition party in a by-election. So that is the magic of what can be done if the opposition parties unite, if opposition parties walk the talk on the issue of secularism, if they believe that India is a secular country where minorities have equal and privileges and rights as every other citizen, then you cannot be with the BJP, you have to be with the Congress and other secular parties. In that case, if you are going around and trying to create a third alternative, then what are you doing? You are dividing the opposition vote. You are paving the way for Modi Sarkar to continue its damage to India's democratic fabric, to India's secular fabric, to India's economic fabric, to India's cultural and socio-cultural fabric. That is what we condemn. And therefore, I am here loudly, I am happy to tell you that this federal front idea, the truth behind it is nothing other than an attempt to ensure that BJP and Modi Sarkar come back. We are going to oppose it tooth and nail, and I can assure you that all the chief ministers your chief minister is meeting will not fall for this, and they will come and join a broad coalition with the Congress as one of its key principal elements. Let me go on. We are now moving to the 2019 election, and the people of Telangana so far in the assembly election have rewarded a political party that played a leading role in the creation of the state. But it is important to remember that there was one more national party that played a very, very critical role in the creation of the state of Telangana, and that is the Congress party. So now, when we have a national election, when we have a country to govern and to govern effectively, it's extremely important that the people of Telangana say, fine, the assembly election is over, let us now focus on the national issues ahead of us. Here is a party that created our state, let us give them our trust, let us give them our vote, and let us ensure that they bring back India to the path that it needs to go on to. Let's think about what has happened over the last few years. Reflect on it. When I talk about truth, truth doesn't happen automatically. We create institutions to ensure that corruption does not take place, that anyone who tries to cheat and betray the constitutional system is punished. And for that we need institutions that keep India and our democratic polity alive and well. Think about what has happened to our institutions under Modi Sarkar. 5 years ago, you would have remembered a movement called the Lokpal movement. You remember that? What happened? Have you seen a Lokpal in the last 4.5 years? What happened to that entire agitation which was demanding a Lokpal? The Lokpal the bill was passed by the UPA government. It is part of a larger framework of anti-corruption legislation that was introduced and established and strengthened by the UPA government. But what has happened to that framework in the 4.5 years of Modi Sarkar? Think about the Right to Information Act. Modi ji and Amit Shah ji have a very, very clever way of destroying institutions. The Right to Information Act remains on paper, but there is an apparatus to implement the Right to Information Act. That includes Chief Information Commissioner. It includes some 9, 15, 13 members of the called Information Commissioners. And the last person who stepped down from that office, Mr. Acharyalu, basically said this government has no interest in strengthening this institution, and they've kept these positions unfilled. So how do you make sure that the institution collapses? Let there be an overload of work. Let's not have any